Hi, this is Greg with my anonymous movie review. I sat through more Shakespeare in the park this summer than most people, but don't kid yourself if you think that just because someone throws around the word Shakespeare a few times in a movie that the film has to be good. As a matter of fact, this movie is horrible. It's one of the worst films I've seen in a long time. I would have walked out of the theater if I hadn't been doing a review and felt compelled to stay to the bitter end. It was complete torture to sit through it. I thought it would never end. Anonymous explores the silly controversy about whether Shakespeare actually wrote his plays. Okay, so I'm not big on theories that say that Shakespeare didn't write his works because of his humble background. Look, there have been plenty of great writers and thinkers who came from modest situations. Epictetus, a Roman slave, wrote works on philosophy that echoed and rivaled those of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. And Jane Austen, who's the greatest writer in the English language, didn't go to college, but she was a much greater writer than her brother, who went to Oxford, who didn't amount to anything from a literary point of view. And Mark Twain didn't go to Harvard, but he was a much better novelist than anyone who did. That aside, I have no problem with someone having some fun with it and coming up with an alternate story of who wrote the plays and running with it, if the story is the slightest bit curious or interesting or compelling. And I can even overlook taking liberties with history for dramatic purpose if there's a point. The trouble is, this movie is less engaging than banging your head against a wall for 2 or 3 hours, or however long it lasted. In fact, you'd be better off banging your head against the wall since it would cost you less money, though fortunately I didn't pay to see this movie. The story is tedious, convoluted, and rambling. Predictably, the writers assume that if you throw in a few quotes from Shakespeare, that'll make up for the fact that the writing otherwise has nothing going for it. Wooden, dull, no stone characters and storytelling could not imagine a more repulsive account of Shakespeare's life, real or imagined. The movie portrays the real Shakespeare as a grouchy, pompous ass, and the fake Shakespeare as a bumbling fool and idiot. Unfortunately, it's not a comedy. In defense of the real Shakespeare, let me just say that he is reputed to be ever quick-witted, sharp, and always cracking a joke, and boring isn't a word that would come to mind. This movie should serve to kill any interest in history or literature that you've ever had. There are times as a reviewer when you want to sue someone, and this is one of them.